Looking for a fast-charging, ultra-responsive stylus for your iPad? Meet the 2X Fast Charge Active Stylus Pen, designed for 2018 to 2025 Apple iPads. Take your creativity and productivity to the next level. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Welcome to Drama and Dish. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a fascinating tale of one of the most iconic bands in history, the Beatles. You know the Beatles as one of the most influential and beloved bands of all time, but did you know that their name wasn't always so straightforward? In fact, it's still mind-boggling to think that 60 years ago, they were still trying to come up with a name for themselves. From Johnny and the Moondogs to Long John and the Silver Beatles, these four lads from Liverpool had some wild ideas. But let's start at the beginning. The Beatles as we know them today was formed in 1960, but before that, they were just a trio of mates, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison. They needed a name, and fast. Stuart Sutcliffe, their friend from art school, joined the band after investing £65 in a bass guitar, and with Tommy Moore on drums, they were ready to take on the world. Now, we know that the Beatles' name has been subject to all sorts of outlandish stories over the years: flaming pies, flying carpets, and even mysterious men visiting them on their favorite haunts. But the truth is a lot more down to earth. According to John Lennon himself, he was inspired by the crickets, which had double meaning. It referred to both a type of insect and the genre of music. So how did the Beatles come up with their name? Well, in one of those late-night sessions, Lennon and Sutcliffe came up with the idea. They took it to the rest of the band on an April evening in 1960 while strolling along Gambier Terrace by Liverpool Cathedral. Initially, Paul McCartney wasn't won over. He thought it sounded a bit creepy. But after learning about its clever double meaning, he was convinced. However, not everyone was happy with their new name. When they crossed paths with Casey Jones, aka Brian Cassar, from the Liverpool group Cass and the Casanovas, he wasn't impressed. He dubbed the Beatles' name Rotten and suggested it needed more syllables. In fact, he even had some wild ideas of his own like Long John and the Pieces of Silver. Despite their differing opinions, the Beatles eventually decided to compromise. They dropped the silver from their name, leaving just the Beatles. And that's how one of the most enduring names in music history was born. At Drama and Dish, we love stories like this, where the facts are fascinating and the drama is real. So there you have it, the Beatles' origin story, straight from the horse's mouth. Join us next time on Drama and Dish for more juicy gossip and behind-the-scenes secrets that'll keep you hooked.